Hey, what is up guys? Welcome back to the channel and welcome back once again to Gran Turismo 7. So the Aston Martin Valkyrie, I finally got a fairly decent 800 pp build for it, meaning this is probably the most expensive money making method I've ever done. This car costs 4 million credits and well, we at least want to try and earn a little bit of that back. Now, overall, I'm not usually a big fan of nerfing these insanely quick cars, considering it sits at over 800 pp on its standard sports tyres, and obviously you have to use racing for the 800 events, but you know, we'll give it a little shot. So like I mentioned, this thing comes in at 4 million credits. I believe it may be the most expensive car in Brand Central, I think ever. I'm pretty sure the other kind of bunch of expensive cars are around about 3.6 million at most. So I'm pretty sure this may be the most expensive one. So we are going to attempt today to try and make some money back with the Aston Martin Valkyrie. Yeah, I think we've got a bit of a job on our hands here. Now, I'm not usually a fan of down tuning, but I'll give you my personal tune for this one. It's a bit quicker than my original, so it's racing hard tyres, fully customizable suspension with the body height at the front at 68 and the rear at 68. Then we're going to go on to the anti-roll bar, 5 front, 8 rear. Compression is going to be 40 for both, as well as expansion, which is going to be 48 for both. Natural frequency, 440 for both. Negative camber angle at the front is 0.5 with 1.3 at the rear. Toe angle is going to be 0 at the front, and then at the rear we have 0.10 inwards. No differential on this one. I'm not really going to bother with that. I cannot even remember if it is a part 4 this car. I'm pretty sure it is, but I'm not going to really touch that. Fully customizable different racing transmission, should I say, and then we do have it set to 370, and here are the individual gears. Just ensure that they match up and you should be absolutely good to go. Probably a little bit too high in terms of overall top speed. 70 on the power restrictor, 82 ballast, and then we have the fully customizable ECU set to 70. You can't change the downforce on this car sadly, so just leave that. Turbocharger is a high RPM turbo, racing intercooler, then we have racing drilled discs, and then just over here at the bottom we have increased body rigidity, and that is it. Pretty simple tuning sheet to get set up. Now we're going to move on and actually talk about this car itself. So I'm not a big fan of down tuning very powerful cars, but with this being an update 1.35 car and costing me a crap ton of money, well, I at least wanted to attempt to make something back from it. And well, at first it just went absolutely horrible. I tried an NA build and it just did not have any power at all. To be quite honest, the Valkyrie just doesn't feel that quick when you down tune it, mainly because the original is absolutely insanely quick. However, this high RPM version definitely feels much better overall and is actually better on fuel than my NA version was. It was just really quite bizarre. So this method will be a one-stop method. To be quite honest, it's fairly decent on fuel. It's not amazing or anything special, but it's, you know, quite capable of doing the entire event in one stop. In terms of its tyre weight, it's a little bit on the high side, and like I said, in terms of its overall top speed, it's nothing mind-blowing, but it's still fairly decent overall. And well, like I said, I want to make some money back on the most expensive car from Brand Central. So first thing you want to do, I'm just going to give you a quick overview of my strategy. You want to turn the car all the way down to fuel mix 6. You do actually have overtake or KERS on this car, so ensure you are using that to just give yourself a little boost up to turn 1, and you can start the whole process of overtaking the AI. Now in terms of difficulty, I've got this on easy, but I'd fully recommend just running it on normal. It reduces the amount of traffic you run into. To be quite honest, I ran into a ton of traffic throughout this video and it absolutely killed my overall time, as well as actually having a big spin kind of mid-race, which again didn't really help my overall time for this car. So just kind of err on the side of caution. I would just recommend taking the difficulty of the AI at least up 1 notch from easy. I know most of the events, or if you grind Le Mans, you know, consistently, you're probably running it easy so you can stop and wait. Here, you just kind of want to turn them up like the same at Tokyo, so you just reduce the amount of time you're running into them in terms of overlapping them. To be quite honest, when you've got this many cars on track and it's a very tight track, getting stuck behind the AI is an absolute time killer. And that's really it. There's nothing realistically more to say about this car in terms of what you have to do, how you have to set the event up. Again, normal difficulty, run it at fuel mix 6. You're not going to be really messing around with that at all. In terms of its tyre life, again, it's not the best at all. It does seem to be quite high on its tyre wear, especially in comparison to some other cars, but it's not absolutely terrible either. Once you've got the handling down for this thing as well, I actually think it feels absolutely fantastic. The Valkyrie at first, for me, felt really uncomfortable to drive, but once you kind of get used to how to drive it, it's a very, very good handling car, and you can really hammer it through some of these corners, even in fuel mix 6. So I'm just going to quickly move on to lap 8. This is when I took my pit stop. I had just the right amount of fuel to essentially run out at the line and basically do my pit stop. So again, if it's looking like you're probably going to get rid of a bit too much fuel or throughout, then just pit at the end of lap 7. You've still got enough to go all the way to the end. But personally, I just recommend just saving as much fuel as possible, not being overly aggressive with the engine, and you should quite easily do 8 laps fairly flat out. So again, we're going to take some tires on this. Like I said, even after 8 laps on the hards, it is starting to wear the car down. So just change on to a fresh set. You should be all good to go with a full tank of fuel. The reason I recommend is just putting the full tank in, mainly because the little diamond that it recommends is never too correct. And again, just be aware of the AI leaving the pits. As you can see, we nearly got absolutely wiped out and clattered by the Porsche 911 RSR there. So we're on to lap 14 now, and I'm actually going to turn the engine up a bit. I had a bit of extra fuel. Again, I've not been overly aggressive. I had a few moments, so I sort of kind of just chilled out a little bit in terms of, you know, my overall pace. So again, I'm just going to turn it up and burn off that excess fuel all the way to the end of the race. And as you can see, if we do have it turned up, yeah, it's going to absolutely drinking way over sort of 1.5 laps of fuel per lap if you've got it turned up to the maximum. Cur's all used up, and we are good to finish in first place by a rather decent margin. So let's have a look. We did it in a 25:24.652. You can certainly go quicker than that. Like I said, you can easily get this car in 24 minutes. It was just mainly the fact that I absolutely trashed my run, got stuck behind the AI many times, and then decided to absolutely barrier myself, which, yeah, probably not the brightest idea. Fastest lap time of a 1:35.258, so it does have a 1 lap pace if you have it turned up, but do expect it to drink a pretty significant amount of fuel. In terms of the payout, to be quite honest, I think we all know this one by now at Sardinia. It is, well, 727,500 credits. Very specific amount, but yeah, that's what you're going to be earning. You can do this 2 times per hour, talking just over 1.4 million. If you kind of round it up to an hour, it's probably nearer 1.6 million per hour. Almost, obviously, you'll still be kind of in the event at that point. So yeah, not too bad overall. So the Aston Martin Valkyrie, in all honesty, when I first did an 800 build, I was not going to ever touch that car again. It felt absolutely sluggish. It felt far too slow. However, since kind of messing around with it a little bit more, and you guys can probably edit those gear ratios to get them absolutely spot on, it's a fairly decent money grinder. And it's certainly the most expensive one at 4 million credits, plus the parts as well, which is probably a couple of 100,000 extra. So yes, you can make money with Brand Central's most expensive car. I'm currently working on some Gran Turismo 4 content as well as some Gran Turismo 2 content, so expect that over the coming weeks. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to leave a like, comment and subscribe. Turn your notifications on so you don't miss an upload from me. I upload GT7 and, well, I guess all Gran Turismo related content each and every day for your viewing pleasure. I'll have my Discord, my Twitter, my donation links, my Patreon, all that good stuff down in the description below. Have a fantastic day, guys. Peace.